Hello everyone. Today, we will explore the layout of the Yeeflow approval form. In the Form Designer, we will introduce three controls: container, grid, and section. These controls enable us to create different layout effects and design approval form pages for various devices and usage scenarios. Let's begin. First, open the Form Designer. In this designer, you can see that the canvas has been added to some of the form's field controls. Among them, the text editor and button controls are currently arranged in two rows. If we want to list these two controls in one row, we can drag a container control to achieve the layout. Under the General Controls, grouping in the Controls panel, find the Container control. Click and drag the Container control to the right canvas. Drag the text editor and button controls into the Container control and click on Advanced Settings for both controls and set the width option to Inline Auto under the Advanced column. Select the Container control and click Layout Settings in the left panel. Under the Container column, you can adjust the width and minimum height of the container. Expand the Items column, set the direction to row, the Align Items to middle, and the Justify Content to space between. In this way, multiple controls in the container can be arranged according to the set direction and alignment. After canceling the alignment settings, you can customize the parameters of the element gap. Let's drag these 5 single-line controls into a container control again to design their layout. Find and drag the container control to the canvas in the Controls panel, and then drag the single-line controls into the container control one by one. Select the container control, click Layout Settings, and expand the Items column. The direction is set to row, and these 5 controls are arranged horizontally. Set the width of the container. If it exceeds the width of all the child controls, click the Overflow Options drop-down box at the top. Click Auto, and the container control will automatically create scroll bars to keep the content in the container accessible. By clicking Hide, the overflow content in the container will not be accessible. When the control in the container is the default width, you can set the child control to either No Wrap or Wrap. If we want to arrange the layout of this container as one row for the first 3 controls and one row for the second 2 controls, we need to add another container control. Drag the last 2 controls one by one into the second container control and set the direction of the container control's child items to rows. This arrangement can also be achieved by adding a dynamic grid control. First, drag a grid control to the canvas, and under the basic column of Content Settings, you can enter the title content in the text box. Expand the appearance bar, increase the grid to 3 columns, and then drag the controls into the grid one by one. When the content of a control is relatively long, you can set the control to occupy multiple rows or columns in the grid. Select the Supplier Name control, click Advanced Settings, select Auto for position under the Grid Child column, and enter 2 for column span. Select the Supplier Address control, click Advanced Settings, select Auto for position, enter 3 for column span. Drag another dynamic grid control to the right canvas, set the title name, click Content Settings in the left panel, expand the Appearance column, and increase the grid to 2 columns and 3 rows. Then drag the 5 controls into the grid. If you want to set the Project Status control to 1 column and 2 rows, select this control, click Advanced Settings, and under the Grid Child column, set the row span to 2. Or select the grid control, click Content Settings, add a new area under the Appearance column, and then click on the Advanced Settings and click on Area for Position, and select the area you just added from the drop-down box. The third method is to click Custom and enter the corresponding values in the rows and columns to complete the setting. When the title width of a child control is too long to display the title in the same row, you can click the Content Settings of the child control and adjust the title width under the Appearance bar, or set the title layout to vertical. Click Plus button to open the Controls panel under the General Components column. Find and drag the Section control to the right canvas. The section control is the outermost control that divides the page into different sections. Drag all the controls into the section control and click the navigator button to see the section control at the outermost level of all controls. Click Layout Settings to set the content width and height of the control. By clicking the Add Column button, the layout of the child controls of the section control will not be affected, whereas when adding columns to a dynamic grid control, the child controls will be automatically populated in the grid. Click the Device button at the top of the form to adjust the layout for different device modes. Currently, it is the layout of computer mode. Click Tablet mode to view the tablet form layout. Click Mobile mode to modify the form layout. The layout adjustment of mobile mode is mainly about the arrangement direction of containers and the deletion of rows and columns of dynamic grid. Click the Preview button to see the adjustments. Now that you have learned about the essential layout controls in the approval form, I trust it will assist you in designing the form. If you want to know more tutorials about Yeeflow, please stay tuned to our channel. Thanks for watching.